It's strange how silence feels different after chaos ends. Last time, everything inside Kabir was loud, pulled, scattered. Energy fighting energy, thoughts colliding with breath, action draining life itself. But now the noise has settled.
Yes, not because life became easier, but because something inside stopped resisting. Kabir began to eat with awareness, act with restraint, breathe without forcing. Energy wasn't leaking anymore.
And yet, that wasn't the end, was it?
No, because balance is not the same as meaning.
Kabir noticed something subtle. He was calmer at work, more present at home, less reactive. People around him thought he was doing better. But inside?
Inside, something else began to surface. Not exhaustion, not confusion, but a quiet hollowness.
So this wasn't burnout anymore.
No, burnout drains energy. Meaninglessness drains life.
And this is where Krishna enters again. Not with techniques, not with regulation, not with restraint, but by revealing what happens when life stops offering itself.
Welcome to Beyond the Battlefield, and this is episode 51.
Krishna does not question Arjuna here. He describes a consequence. A life that only protects energy, that only consumes, eventually collapses.
So this isn't a warning.
No, it's an observation of how existence works.
And that is where chapter 4, verse 31 begins. Krishna says,
"Those who live on what remains after yajna taste amrita and move toward the eternal. But for the one whose life is not yajna, even this world does not work. How then? Any other?"
There are two movements here, one upward, one collapsing.
Yes, this verse is not a warning. It's a contrast.
In this verse, what does that really mean by Yagnishishta Amrita Bhuja?
When a human being offers first and then lives on what remains, life tastes different.
Different? How?
Lighter, cleaner, unburdened.
So Amrita here isn't some future nectar.
No, it's the feeling that life is not slipping away.
That even while things change, something inside remains untouched.
Yes, that is why Krishna calls it Amrita.
And then Krishna turns.
Yes, and he does not soften his words.
For the one whose life is not yajna, even this world does not work.
Notice what Krishna does not say. He doesn't say the world is taken away. He says the world becomes unavailable. So food still exists. Work still exists. Relationships still exist. But nourishment disappears. And that's why Krishna adds, how then any other world? If you cannot participate fully here, you cannot enter deeper dimensions anywhere.
So this verse isn't about heaven and hell. It's about aliveness versus survival. One life is lived as contribution and becomes sustaining. The other is lived as consumption and slowly dries up.
Let's be clear. What's the upside for us?
Higher margins, visibility in the market.
And personally, this positions us well. Next role, next title.
No one said it out loud, but everyone was asking the same thing. What do I get? What's in it for me? How does this help my growth?
The numbers look good.
Targets met. Brand visibility is strong.
Then why do I feel so tired? I got the role, the raise, the recognition. So why does it feel empty?
Another meeting, days later. Noticeably dull.
Thoughts?
Silence. Honestly, I just do what's asked now.
No point bringing ideas. Decisions are already made.
But we're winning.
Yes. But we don't feel connected anymore.
And that's the danger. No collapse. No crisis. Just burnout. Distrust. Loneliness. Inner fatigue. And loss of joy. Even with achievement.
This is what Krishna calls a life that only extracts from people, from work, from power, and gives nothing back.
And Krishna says something radical here.
Nayam loko asta yajnasya. Such a life doesn't even work. Here. So yajna isn't ritual.
No, it is inner alignment. Work as contribution, action as offering, knowledge as sharing, power as responsibility, success as service. When that spirit is missing, work feels heavy, results feel dry, and life loses rhythm.
So the message is simple. Life works only when lived as an offering. Not necessarily to God, but to Dharma, to purpose, to wholeness. Without that, this world feels incomplete.
When Krishna says this world, he's not talking about planets. He's talking about this life, your work, your relationships, your leadership. When you live only asking, what do I get? This world responds with burnout, distrust, loneliness, and a strange tiredness, even when everything looks successful.
And when Krishna says the next world,
He's not selling heaven, he's pointing to inner continuity, the ability to carry peace forward, clarity forward, meaning forward. If you can't live with alignment here, you can't magically find it later. A restless mind here dreams of a peaceful afterlife, but never arrives.
So Krishna is being practical, not threatening, not promising, just stating a truth. Life only carries forward what you practice now. So Krishna isn't condemning anyone. He's simply closing one door.
The door that says, I live only for myself. And that's when a different fear usually comes. If life must be lived as an offering, then what does that even look like? And this is where Krishna is deeply compassionate. He knows human beings are different temperaments, different capacities, different ways of contributing.
so there isn't one correct form of yajna?
No, there are many, and that changes everything. Because now the question is no longer, am I spiritual enough?
After verse 31, a natural fear arises. If life must be lived as an offering, then what exactly do I have to do? And Krishna answers that fear immediately. He doesn't tighten the rule, he expands the field. Krishna says,
In this way, many kinds of yajnas exist. They are spread across life itself. All arise from action. Knowing this, one becomes free.
So Krishna isn't multiplying rituals.
No, he's removing panic. The panic that says, if I don't live one specific way, I failed.
So yajna doesn't belong to temples.
It belongs to action, to work, to thought, to leadership, to learning. And when Krishna says many kinds of yajnas, he's not introducing something new. He's reminding Arjuna of what he has already shown in the last few verses. Krishna quietly walked Arjuna through 12 different ways of living as yajna. Not to confuse him, but to include everyone. For some, yajna was discipline of the senses, offering desire into awareness. For others, breath, prana offered into prana. For some, sacrifice of possessions, time, comfort. For others, knowledge, study, inner inquiry. For some, action itself, work done without clinging to results. And for others, silence, restraint, stillness.
So Krishna wasn't saying this is the right yajna. He was saying this is your yajna. Whatever helps you move from extraction to offering is valid.
And that's why Krishna says all these yajnas arise from action, not belief, not ritual, but how you live. And knowing this, one becomes free.
So what could yajna look like today?
For one person, yajna is honest work. For another, sharing knowledge instead of hoarding it. For a leader, using power as a responsibility, not leverage. For a professional, choosing contribution over constant self-promotion.
And Krishna adds something important. Karmajan vidhi tan sarvan. Know that all yajnas arise from action. Which means you don't need to escape life to become spiritual. You need to enter it correctly. And Krishna says, knowing this, one becomes free. Free from comparison, free from imitation, free from guilt, free to offer in your own way. So Krishna has shown many yajnas, many ways of offering. And now he makes a gentle distinction, not to reject the others, but to deepen them. In verse 33, Krishna says,
Greater than any material offering is the yajna of knowledge, for all action finds its completion in understanding.
So Krishna isn't dismissing action, he's completing it. And he's not asking us to stop working, he's asking us to see while working.
So what is this Jnana Yajna really?
It's when action is guided by understanding. When effort is aligned with truth. In modern life, that would mean doing the right thing, not just the efficient thing. Choosing clarity over impulse, responsibility over reward. And that's why Krishna calls it greater. Because without understanding, even sincere action can become noise. And with understanding, even small action becomes sacred.
So tonight, Krishna didn't ask you to do more. He didn't ask you to change roles or chase a different life. He only asked you to notice one thing: how you enter action, as extraction or as offering. When life is lived only asking, "What do I get?" it becomes busy but empty. And when even one action is lived as an offering, life begins to respond.
So maybe the real question isn't how spiritual am I, but how conscious am I in this moment? How will I enter the next conversation, the next decision, the next day? Thank you for being with us on Beyond the Battlefield. If this episode helped you see your work, your leadership, or your life a little differently, share it with someone who might need this reminder. Subscribe to the podcast and write to us at beyondthebattlefield@outlook.in. And don't forget to check the GPT companion link in the description to continue these reflections in your own rhythm. In the next episode, Krishna takes us deeper still, into clarity that dissolves doubt. Until then, stay aware and live as an offering.